Last month, the FCC issued a proposed rule on the issue of network neutrality or open internet rules, and NAR has some concerns with that. My name is Melanie Wine. I'm the Senior Technology Policy Representative at NAR, and I'm joined this afternoon with Chip Pickering, who is a former member of Congress, and he's currently the President and CEO of CompTel. And also with me is Marvin Amore. He's on the Board of Directors of Engine Advocacy, and he's also a leading lawyer for many of the world's largest internet companies. So Chip, we're here today talking about network neutrality and open internet principles. Can you explain for our realtor members what those terms mean?
The open internet simply means that any realtor, anywhere, at any time, can have the content and the website and whatever the information that they provide to the public accessible to any individual equally, whether they're a small realtor, a mid-size, or a large. Over the last 2 decades, we've had great success, first by industry agreement to have an open internet. Then the FCC adopted principles to give us an open internet by saying, if you violate the principles that have been agreed upon by all parties, then we'll enforce that. So we had a deterrent without a rule. And then in 2010, a rule was adopted, but in the recent court decision this past year, was struck down. That is the reason we have this new proposed rule, because we're fearful that as you've had greater consolidation, the loss of competitive choices, and the possible new business models that would charge for fast lanes or begin to discriminate and treat small businesses different than large or mid-size, or pick favorites and exclusives with some and not others, that we actually need a rule to preserve a functioning, free, competitive market. So that's the purpose of this rule. It can be done with a light touch that is consistent with Republicans and Democrats and all individuals who have grown accustomed to the open and free internet.
So Marvin, there's currently a new pending proposed rule at the FCC. How would this proposed rule affect, or how would it change the concept of open internet that Chip just described to us? And how would it affect realtors who are content creators and whose businesses are increasingly going online?
Sure. The FCC's proposal is fundamentally to change the way the internet has always worked. It's to let phone and cable companies that provide access to the internet create 2 tiers. One tier for like a slow lane for all the websites that don't have enough money to pay them, and then a fast lane for the biggest companies that can afford to pay. And the phone and cable companies won't have to offer the fast lane to everyone. They could discriminate, they could have an exclusive deal. So if you think about it from the point of view of a realtor, they either have to pay more money to each of the ISPs, the internet service providers, in order to be in the fast lane, or they're going to have a competitive disadvantage against those who have paid to be in the fast lane.
So doesn't competition take care of this problem on its own?
Well, actually there's an absence of effective competition among the ISPs, or the internet service providers, in most business markets, which are very different than residential. When we think of markets, who serves the business? The realtor or the hardware store or any mom and pop or large business. It's usually only one provider, maybe the local telephone company. Sometimes the cable company comes in and offers some competition, but about 80% of the small and mid-sized businesses only have one choice. So we don't have effective competition between network providers.
Marvin, whenever I go to real estate conferences, or what I read with respect to real estate technology, all we hear is that the future of the industry is wireless and mobile. How does this proposal relate to wireless and mobile technologies?
On the mobile side, the FCC essentially is making it a Wild West, where the big phone companies can do everything short of blocking a website outright. So they can discriminate, they can charge tolls, they can create fast lanes, they can have exclusive deals, even with their own companies they own. It's not clear if there are almost no limits on the mobile side, even though that's the future of this industry and most others.
So to sort of wrap things up, so we have this proposed rule that's pending at the FCC. Can you give us an overview of, in sort of the regulatory world, what happens now? What's going to happen over the next 120 days? Is that right? Is that our calendar?
Because this proposed rule has really inspired the public to speak up, we've seen thousands of people comment every day. And if anyone wants to comment to the FCC, first you should Google for the John Oliver net neutrality bit. And at the end, he sort of gives you the key link, which is fcc.gov/comments.
The internet in its current form is not broken, and the FCC is currently taking steps to fix that.
You could also go to dearfcc.org. But I also recommend calling your congressman, reaching out to NAR as well, and sort of making your voice heard that you want to keep the internet open and free, and that your business relies on your having equal access on a level playing field to compete with others on the merits.
Well, I want to thank both of you for taking the time to help explain this very complicated topic to our members. And for realtors who might want more information about this topic, you can go to realtor.org, where we have more resources on network neutrality on our advocacy